Okay, now that we've got a couple layers together, again, remember that the move tool here will allow me to move these layers. Each layer can actually have what's called a layer style, okay? If I look at this layer right now, it's what I call kind of a flat image. There's really nothing that's setting it apart from the other images. It's just kind of two-dimensional, right? But there are some things that we can do to make that look a little different. Give it edges, to give it a glow, and so on. So first I'm just going to go ahead and deselect my marching ant so it's no longer selecting this layer. I'll say select, deselect, or you'll notice up here Apple D is the shortcut for that, for deselecting. And then I'm going to come over here and you can see my little icon that I'm at right now. I'll zoom in, and actually on that icon, when my mouse is on that icon, I'm just going to double click it, okay? And sure enough, when I double click that little icon, I get what's called the layer style menu, okay? I could have also just gone to layer, down to layer style right here and chosen a specific one, but this is going to allow me to add some layer effects to this individual layer. So let me go ahead and move the ball out so we can really notice these changes as they're happening. First, let's give it a drop shadow, okay? You notice as I click drop shadow, right away I get this shadow line that's around my object, okay? That shadow can be manipulated. If I select drop shadow, I can actually make it darker or lighter, okay? I can change its blending mode. We haven't talked about this too much, but the way it's actually being blended in with other layers behind it. Multiply is a common way to see that, okay? I can change its distance. Notice that, okay? I can change its spread, how much it spreads out, okay? I could change its size, make it more diffuse or wider, just to kind of give it a shadowed glow, right? Again, all of these really create depth so that now this looks like this image is floating off the page, okay? That's just drop shadow. You can experiment with the other ones as well. Inner glow, okay? Select inner glow, play with that. Again, play with how that looks and the size of it. All of these can do some really interesting things in kind of manipulating how that image comes around. Outer glow, same thing, playing around with the noise in the outer glow or the shapes, okay? You can do some really interesting effects just by playing around with layer styles, okay? Once I click OK, you'll notice that the layer style has been applied to the actual layer in terms of filters, okay? So, or actually it calls them effects in this case, right? So I can see I've got a drop shadow, inner glow, outer glow, right? And now if I ever wanted to go back to one of those, I can go in and control click and go back to those individual layers that I'm manipulating. So inner shadow, and sure enough I can go back and manipulate that. Again, how I did that was I held down the control key and clicked on that box, and now it shows me all the different ones that I can play with or continue to add on. Alright? So that is just a really easy way to make your layers look, give them a unique style of their own. So please, if you haven't created layers yet and you haven't applied layer styles, please do so now. Get in there and create a couple layers, apply a couple styles, and see how they start to blend together.